Life is a journey full of choices and decisions. Some will change your life for the better and others for the worse. I chose to better my life and I've never looked back. What landed me in prison was 2 counts of armed robbery. I was I was playing football at Santa Monica College at the time. We was actually just about to start spring training, so I was in the weight room like pretty tough, feeling myself a little bit. But I literally left the gym, stopped at one of my boys' house. His parents was out of town, so you know we kind of kicking it over there. So we we chilling at the house. Two dudes actually pull up, coming to see his niece. And I mean, it was, you know, they was with it, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of looking at them, they looking at us. So it was kind of a set trip. Where y'all from? You know what I'm saying? So basically a fight broke out. So we start fighting. And in the process of the fight, we was like, you know, give me your shit. One of the homies pulled a pistol out and was like, you know, get on the ground. And basically we just took their shit, you know what I'm saying? And walked them to the car, made them empty the car, like took everything. I mean, it kind of made an example out of them, you know. The last thing on my mind was that they was finna go to the police. You know, I'm thinking, hey, they gonna chalk this up as a loss. What they lose, a couple watches, wallets, some speakers and stuff. I mean, some real bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But I put the stuff in the back of my car, not even thinking about it no more, thinking that tomorrow morning me and the homies go through it and split it up, see what we want. The next morning, my car was gone. So I'm like, where's my car at? So I mean, first thing crossed my mind, I'm like, them dudes came back and stole my car. You know, my mom she had me call the police. So she like, call the police, you know, see if they took your car. And they was like, yeah, your car's down here, come get it. So I immediately knew what was up, you know what I'm saying? I called my brother, I'm like, dude, I think I'm about to get caught up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I went down there. They actually let me go. They just talked to me. I played dumb with them. They let me go. And probably 4 days later, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, they came with a warrant and like just basically came and snatched me up from the house. I was sentenced initially to 7 years, 3 years for each count of robbery, plus a year enhancement for the use of a firearm. Being that it was my first time ever being arrested. You know, I had a bunch of support from the community, my football coaches at the time. So I guess somewhere down the line, the judge had a little sympathy for me and he ran everything concurrent to 3 years. But they gave me 2 strikes. I was serving 85% of my time. So it's like by the time I actually got to prison, it was like I was a second termer. So I mean, I went through a bunch of like crazy shit like this. Like, nah, this your second time. You got 2 strikes. I'm like, dude, this is my first time ever being arrested, you know? But on a 3-year sentence, I basically served like 2.5 years. When I got sentenced, I ended up at Delano's reception center. I was there maybe about a month and a half, and they actually sent me to Corcoran to do my time. I had never heard of Corcoran before, but everybody in there was like, oh man, you going to Corcoran? They call it Killer Corcoran. I'm like, I'm 19 at the time. I ain't knowing what they talking about. I'm like, all right, whatever, that's where I'm going, you know? So I did majority of my time at Corcoran. Maybe my last 6 months, I got transferred to Chino, and then I came home after that. The craziest thing I experienced, it's actually 2 things, if I can. I never forget, man, when we first got to Corcoran, I remember pulling up to there. It looked like a dungeon, a castle or something like that. It was like a weird feeling, but I just remember everybody looked buff. So we go through the process of getting in, and they actually walk us to the yard. They sent me to the level 3 yard, and they put us in the gym. And they had been on a lockdown for like 6 months. So they hadn't been outside at all. So they were coming off lockdown that day, right after lunch. So it's like within the next hour or something like that. So, you know, immediately I want to get to the yard, you know, see if I know anybody, just, you know, let them know, hey, I'm here. I need some I need some help, you know. So anyway, they strip searching everybody before we go to the yard. I go through the process. They throw my clothes maybe about 5 feet away, like go over there and get dressed. You asshole naked outside, you know what I'm saying? So I walk over to get dressed. I immediately put on my socks and my boots, you know, and before I can even get my underwear on, I'm just hearing, get down, get down, get down. Like right then and there, like everything kind of went in slow motion to me. So I'm on the ground. I'm just like looking like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, I just got here. Maybe I haven't been here 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? the South Siders and the Norteños, the Mexican gangs, were rioting again. Basically, that was the reason they had been on lockdown for 6 months. So as soon as they let them open, they just went at it again. So it's commotion. I hear a gunshot. I look up. I'm like directly up under the tower. I look up. I see the guards right there. Man, I'm scared to death. Like, I just got here. Like, who actually go through shit like that when they just get here? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking up. I see the guard. He let off 2 shots. He didn't shoot nobody, but he let off 2 shots. And man, I'm sitting there just immediately. I'm thinking about my parents. Like, the fuck did I do? Like, damn, this is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we immediately went back to lockdown. Something like that. They got off lockdown maybe 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying, and went right back. The next incident was, it was probably about a year into my time. We had a riot jumped off with us and the white guys. Literally, I had nothing to do with it. They took off on some bloods, and I happened to be like in the vicinity where it happened. So, you know, me being there, they rushed me too. So, you know, it's more of a racial thing. It was a black and white thing. So I defended myself as much as I could. Like, I'm in prison, I'm scared. I'm hearing about bone crushers. They turned this into a weapon. So I'm like, the last thing I want to do was get stabbed. And so we fighting and whatnot. The next day I know, man, I'm in the hole for 33 days. They're actually trying to send us back to court. And they charged me with 2 counts of assault and battery. And but thank goodness the DA wouldn't pick it up though. So, but other than that, I sat in the hole 33 days. It was me. I had a cellie actually, so we just sit there. We probably told the same stories over and over again. But by the time we got out of there, I was just like, dude, this shit was real. Like, I was scared to death in there. Like, man, if they sent us back to court, we already doing time. We finna get more time added to that. You know what I'm saying? We actually just defended ourselves. Like, so. But those are 2 incidents that really stood out to me. Like, I never forget those 2. What I did with my time while I was in there, I went to the law library a lot. I mean, I was guilty of sin for my case, but there was a lot of flaws in the case. There was a lot of stuff they actually didn't prove. And the 3 years I was sentenced, it was whatever, but the 2 strikes, you know, I'm thinking like, when I get home, dude, how I'm gonna live the rest of my life with 2 strikes? Like, I can't do nothing, you know? So I was trying my hardest to see how we can try to reverse that. But I spent a lot of time in the law library. I read, I don't know how many books, like crazy books. Like I read The Shining, that movie. I read that while I was in there, man. I was like so deep into it, like I was actually scared while I was reading it, you know. But I read a lot. That helped me kind of, you know, mentally escape the situation, you know. I wrote raps, and I read the dictionary front to back, the Bible. I actually rewrote a lot of the dictionary, just words and stuff. Like, it was to the point when I slept, I was having dreams that I was reading. But, you know, it didn't make sense. I was just saying a bunch of words in my head, you know. And I worked out like crazy, you know. Between working out and writing raps, that was like my way of letting out my frustration. Like, I didn't care what the weather was out there. It's freezing cold, it's raining. Summertime, it get to 110. I'm like the only cat on the yard working out still. You know, I'm like, this part of my program. So, but that's basically what I did while I was in there. You know, I had a lot of time to think and just prepare myself for who I wanted to be when I came home. You know, like, you got to think how many times did anybody have in their lifetime where you actually sit for months, you know what I'm saying, with nothing to do, and you get to think about what you want to do, what you've been doing. Like, everybody's out here just moving as they go, you know. So I had a lot of time to think about what I want to do, so that's what I did. Man, one of the biggest challenges from being released, honestly, I have to say it was more personal as far as dealing with family stuff. Like, my parents, they was married 30-some years. They split up while I was in jail, you know, so I was kind of feeling a burden from that. Like, was it my fault? You know, but after, you know, seeing what was going on, like, I'd never really seen my mom and dad get along much anyway. But I kind of understood that they stayed together for the kids. So I was the youngest, you know, I got 2 older brothers and a sister. So I was the last one in the house. So I guess with me being gone, it was really no reason for them to stay together no more. So, you know, I dealt with that. I was coming home to that. So, you know, it was like, damn, Pops live over here, my mom live over there now. Like, shit, y'all lived in the house together, you know? So that was weird as shit to me. It hurt me a lot. My oldest brother, he basically he was in the feds, and he basically got life in the feds while I was gone as well. So just coming home and thinking like, wow, my brother's gone now too. So it was it was a lot of personal shit. It was just more like family situations that seemed like the family just fell apart while I was gone. As far as society go though, I was good. Like I came home, it was like I left all that jail shit behind. So immediately I came home, I left off where I was at. I went right back to school. I was getting ready for football, but mentally I couldn't get back into that the way I wanted to, so there was no use of doing it halfway. So I say that was the biggest challenge. It's more like family stuff. But society, I was pretty much good. It's like I didn't want people to know I had been gone. I felt like it was a mistake. So I came home and just immediately, was back smiling. I smile a lot. So I was back smiling with people and just like, hey, let's get back to what we was doing. I've been on vacation for a couple years. I could say the first few years was rough. Like it was real rough. I didn't have an idea what I really wanted to do. I came home, I was like 22 at the time. I've been gone since I was 19. So it's like, I'm fresh out. I don't have any job skills. I don't have a resume. I don't have anything. I'm just out here and I'm, trying to get a job, and that just wasn't happening, and I had to come to grips with myself, and I asked myself a question like, would you hire yourself? Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? You've been in jail. You 22 years old. Like, you got a nice size on you, so yeah, obviously you've been working out, but other than that, shit, you don't know shit, Why would I hire you? So, I had to, basically deal with that with myself, so I went back to school, and I was like, we'll just see what this leads up to. So, day to day, yeah, I was in school. Within maybe a year and a half of me coming home, I had my first son. So that, fatherhood helped me, put things in perspective, because I couldn't imagine neither one of my sons going through none of that, So I was like, I did this, not that I'm proud of it, but I have to make sure you guys don't do that. So I know I had to get my life together just for the sake of them, if anything. I felt I owed my parents more, I owed them more, so I was pretty much focused after that. So it was just, working out, trying to see what I was what angle I was getting into, and school really helped me. So I eventually got into film school, and I graduated from film school. So getting my degree, that was my day-to-day, just focus on that. After film school, I remember being excited, just, like, hey, I got a film degree now. So if I want to, I can try to create my own lane and, create a company, film. I love editing. So I'm like, I love the fact of telling a visual story. So I fell in love with that aspect of filming. But it was funny because I used to be on set. I could never get an editing job. So it was like most of the directors, they got their own personal editor already. So they didn't want to see what I was doing. So I was getting jobs as far as grip, setting up lights and stuff like that. So the funny thing, because while I was on set a few times, the actors were actually asking me like, man, what type of workout do you do? And, I'm telling them, like, I like calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, and stuff like that. So they was like, can you train me? And I'm like, well, I'm actually not certified to train you, but you can come work out with me. So, I started getting relationships with people like that. As we talk, they eventually find out that I've been in prison before, so they applauded me. Like, I applaud you for doing what you do now. I had no idea, so from that, it's like something ticked in my head, like, man, maybe you should go get certified as a trainer. You can actually work two jobs. You could be doing your film stuff as well as training the actors that's starring in these films. So basically that's what led to me personal training and stuff now. I was always coaching. I coached my son's football team. We coached up to, we actually won 2 national championships, 2009 in Florida and 2013 in Las Vegas. So from that, I always knew I was kind of in my lane with that. I loved doing it. And the response I always got from the kids, the parents, like, it was real good. So I was like, this is kind of something I enjoy doing. Eventually, it became number one. I love doing fitness more than I did film. So now it's like film is more like I love it to death, but it's kind of I say it's kind of a hobby to me now, to do. It's more fun. But personal fitness, that's basically what's paying the bills right now. It helped me get into the Pico Youth and Family Center, where we are right now. Basically, Oscar De La Torre, he runs it. And he basically approached me at the beach one day. You know, he had been seeing me post up about fitness. From my fitness, I'm filming my workouts and editing video, putting those together and stuff with effects. So I'm trying to show out a little bit. But from that, he approached me at the beach one day, and he was just like, you know, I love what you're doing. I've been following you for a while. I like the quotes you're putting up. You know, how about you come to the Pico Youth and Family Center and let's organize something for the kids. He was like, this should be a way of giving back. He was like, I know your story. I know what you've been through. He was like, it'd be perfect. You know, I actually told him I had a film degree. He was like, we got a media program there. We teaching the kids how to do filming and stuff like that too. So honestly, I love the idea. You know, at the same time, just like coaching, it was another way for me to give back to the kids and kind of let them know, hey, you know, you can do what you want to do. It's deliberate hard work. You just got to make it happen. So, you know, that's basically how I got into the Pico Youth Center. And I mean, I love it. It's, you know, I'm giving back to my community. It's basically, you know, I can't even explain it, but it feels real good. My God Body, I started my company, God Body. I'm actually a fan of of Greek mythology. So, you know, a lot of people see it and they think it's religious. I'm like, it's really not, but in a sense it can be. In the Bible, they say, you know, the body's the temple. So, you know, basically you got to treat it right. You put the good stuff in your body, it's your temple, you know. At the same time, being a fan of Greek mythology, I love the story about Adonis. You know, he's forever youthful, all this stuff. He had there's a certain physique he had, like measurements that you could try to reach his physique. So I fell in love with the story about that. So I was like, you know, it's kind of like Adonis's body, but we switched to God Body. So I started the God Body company. So at the same time, I had to live by that. So I'm like, all right, I got to go bust my ass and I got to have the look to make people want to come to me. The work that I put in, basically that's what's helped me get where I am now. You know, it's like I haven't really promoted or put it out there. I was just really in my lane doing my thing. And people actually started coming to me. I'm getting called to do personal training. I'm getting called for filming. People actually calling me, where can I get this merchandise at? You know, I was actually at one of the fitness expos and I got a God Body hat on. I was approached multiple times, like, where's your booth at? And I'm just like, I don't even have one, but I'm like, I'm gonna have one next year though, you know? So that's basically how that happened. So I'm loving it right now. I think my prison experience, you know, it's hard to actually give prison credit to say like, oh, you made me a better person, you know? So I don't like to say it that way, but it did make me grow up, you know? I grew up real fast and I knew life was serious and time was serious. Like, taking time from somebody, you'd never get that back. So I understood that aspect. So I mean, it's like yes and no. You know, I could say it did, I just don't want to. Put it that way, I don't want to, because it was like the time I came home, I had friends that went to college. They were just coming home from college at the same time. So it's like, where you been? I'm like, shit. You don't want to know where I've been. I know where you were though. We back here at the same spot now, but shit, you probably a little more educated than I am, you know? So, I mean, I guess I could say yes, but again, like, I don't want to, you know? But it made me grow up, like, real fast. I knew life was serious. I knew what I was doing wasn't gonna get me to what I wanted, you know? I always had dreams to being whatever I am now, whatever I wanted to be. You know, I had dreams of doing great things. I wanted people to remember me. I wanted to leave a legacy behind. So doing what I was doing, I knew it wasn't gonna happen that way. Because, I mean, sitting in jail, I'm like, shit, you're losing. The whole time I was in there, I was like literally in a rush to get home. Just like, dude, this shit going on right now. I gotta get home. Like, this is cracking right now. This is going on. Man, I'm not gonna be home until, damn, it's 97. I got to 99. Like, you know, it was killing me. So, I mean, I guess I appreciated life and time more. So, I mean, it's a book that I read. They said, do all that can be done each day. So I'm trying my hardest to do everything I can each day. Something I tell a young person that was caught up in the system, and first of all, you know, just as a human being, you know, you owe yourself more than that. You know, you owe your parents more than that. They put you here. You owe the generation after you more than that. You know, be an example that people can model themselves by and follow. You know, what's your legacy gonna be? You know, I don't know too many people that's in prison that gets remembered for anything, you know. You can come out here and create a legacy for yourself. Success doesn't happen by accident. It takes deliberate work. You know, that's one of the things I love about fitness. It speaks for itself. You know, nobody's in shape on an accident. You know, that was deliberate work they put in to get in shape. Nobody's successful by accident. That was deliberate work they put in. Like anybody can go to jail. You can survive in jail and come home with a false sense of respect, but still, that don't mean nothing. It's like being in jail, it's like it's designed to keep you in there, honestly. There's really no rehabilitation in there. There's no programs that who go to jail come home like, yeah, I got a degree in jail. And that's, man, come on, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there were certain situations in there I remember, like the guards would come over to us and we like working out. We just, in our mind our own business. And the guards come over there and we're actually like, hey, what's going on with the essays over here? And we like, what? Like, I mean, honestly, everything was cool. Like, there's nothing going on. I ain't gonna say peaceful. It's just kind of, it's, I say it's kind of neutral at the time. And everybody's just kind of, programmed to doing their time. But the guards that come over there and was like, what's going on with the essays over there? And we like, shit, nothing. Like, what you talking about? And they like, well, shit, we seen all them. They putting their boots and shit on. They huddled up in little groups and shit. Like, is there tension? What's going on? Immediately, we alert. There was nothing going on, but immediately we alert now. Like, all right, we got to watch and see what's going on. At the same time, they go over to the essays and do the same thing. Hey, what's going on with the blacks over there? So the essay, they turn around, they getting ready. So now immediately, it's tension on the yard. Any little thing, something's finna pop off. So it's just crazy. That's how it works. So it's kind of designed to keep you in there. I did 2.5 years of my time. I think, honestly, I was only supposed to do maybe a year, maybe 10 months. I did 2.5 just from getting in trouble. And the trouble, I don't even believe I ever really caused it. It was just shit that was happening. I was there. So I had to defend myself, So that, that's one of the aspects, I tell a youngster, like, you start going in there, it's a cycle. You got to break the cycle because they keep you in there. Life is made of time. You don't want to waste it. Like I said, anybody could go to jail, but it takes a real strong individual, a real fucking strong individual to set a goal, have a plan, and actually put the work in and continue and focus on that goal through all the ups and downs, but actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. It takes a real strong individual to make that happen. My plans for the future, honestly, I really want to build a gym, my own gym from the ground up. I love this center right here. Like I couldn't think of anything that does what we actually provide here at the center for the youth and stuff, for youth that actually have plans and goals is doing stuff, as well as troubled youth. We give them, I don't want to say light, but we give them insight on things they can actually accomplish. We hold auctions here for paintings. We have a lot of artists. We actually provide scholarships for kids as well to go to school. We actually have a studio back here for music and stuff. So we're trying to touch all aspects, especially like creativity and art. I love that. So at the same time, as human beings, we're very creative people. So I love to provide that and continue doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to send as many kids as I can to college, university. That's like the most fun you ever have in life, just in school. So I want a lot of kids to experience that. So I want to provide, whatever I can to make sure as many kids that wants to go can go. I want to build that gym from the ground up. A healthy lifestyle. I just love the thought of that. My mom passed away of cancer last year. I was actually studying, doing personal training. After she was gone, there was a lot of stuff I was going over that was wrong with her. And it tripped me out, just like, damn, so I'm thinking maybe I could have helped her had I known this stuff earlier, A lot of diseases we have, you can prevent them, So, with a healthy lifestyle, people give themselves diseases, so they're actually killing themselves. So with a healthy lifestyle, you can change that. A doctor will give you medicine for the disease. I'm trying to cure that shit. If not, I'm trying to even prevent it from even happening. So you can say that's my plans for the future. I never forget the day I got out. They put us in a bus. They're driving us up to the front. And we're getting off the bus. They letting us know who got rides and whatnot. And one of the guards turned back. He was like, all right. He looked back at everybody and was like, I'll see y'all next week. And it's like, oh my God, I was so offended at that. You know what I'm saying? I looked him dead in his eye. I was like, you crazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I was pissed that he said that. But statistics show, a lot of people do go back. And when I told my dad, we kind of laughed about it, but he was like, man, think about it. It ain't like he was trying to be funny. That's what he sees. You know what I'm saying? These people getting out, they back next week. So I basically went against the odds. Like, I got to make sure I don't do that, you know? So, you know, second chance. I mean, everybody deserves a second chance, but at the same time, as an individual, you got to understand, you got to kind of make your own way. You have to do what you have to do to deserve that second chance. You know, you just can't be asking people for one, you know? You got to elevate your value. How valuable are you? You got to be valuable to something, you know? So I had to go basically restructure who I was and come back to show people that, hey, I am valuable. You can use me. You can trust me to do stuff. I actually do have skills that I can help you with, and I deserve to be paid for it at the same time. But, you know, second chance and going against the odds, it was, you know, I basically, that's what I did to get to where I am now. So, you know, to society, it's like, you know, it's not like I'm mad, like, oh, they looked at me like I was fucked up. I mean, I came home and I had a bunch of support, you know, friends and family. You know, there's a lot of people that believed in me before I believed in myself. So I felt I just had to give back to all them. So I'm doing all I can to make sure that happens. This is Rodney Crayton, AKA Mr. Godbody, and this is Fresh Out, Life After the Penitentiary.